show at High Television Malingo Buea. And yes, we are here to make sure that your morning goes on well. I'm here to make sure that your morning starts with smiles, with lots of good tidings, and most importantly, you start the morning intelligently. Yeah. So you have a broad smile on your face when you walk up to that customer of yours, when you step out of your door to make that deal, when you step out of your comfort zone to go for that interview, to go for that, just name it, so many of them. Yes, it is the breakfast show at High Television, and guess what, we will be perusing the corridors of spiritual issues today. And yes, it is Spiritual Tuesday. Is it spiritual from your end? Well, if it's not spiritual from your end, then the breakfast this morning on High Television is going to make it a little bit spiritual. Yes, we're going to be talking spiritual on our topic of discussion this morning. And yes, also on our Did You Know page, yesterday was quite interesting. If you missed out, then I'm sure you don't want to miss this one of today, because trust me, we are taking a continuation from yesterday, and we were talking about one of those parts of your body that a lot of persons don't pay attention to, and which is the tongue. And yes, we're going to be finding lots of other interesting aspects and facts concerning our tongue, and what we should do, what it says and what it doesn't say. And yes, we're also going to be having sports and so many more information. And yes, talking about spiritual aspects, we are going to be having lots and lots as far as our topic of discussion is concerned. Right about now, we are making sure Thankful Clothing and I were making sure that we prepare the best just for you. We'll be back after this musical break.
Les violences qui continuent. À Bamenda au Cameroun, la police fait état de 4 morts suite à de nouveaux affrontements. Le parti au pouvoir tenait un meeting ce jeudi mais n'a pas réussi à apaiser les esprits.
Bonamano tomba zamba. Wherever me some more, I could it be ngolo, could it be ngolo, Una mano tumba zamba. Wherever me some more, could it be ngolo, could it be ngolo. You took me when I was down. You took me when it was over. Now that I am found, now you are called Jehovah. People always tell me lies, they will always turn me down, but I will always be your son, even though I do you wrong. Whoa, even though I do you wrong. Whoa, oh. Una mano tomba zamba. Wherever me some more, I could it be ngolo, could it be ngolo. Una mano tomba zamba.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul.
Mano tomba zamba. Wherever me some more, could it be ngolo, could it be ngolo.
Dodo Alukben, I am doing Zababia. You know, and I say, Mbolfia yo. Wait, Wuna Zambak, Wuna Zambak, Wuna Zambak, Wuna Zambak.
Welcome back, and yes, thank you for not touching that dial. Thank you for not, switching the channel, because we are about bringing to you lots and lots of interesting facts as far as the morning show is concerned. And yes, we are going to begin with our very first lot. We get to find interesting things, interesting aspects of the program on our Did You Know page. And yes, talking about our Did You Know page this morning, yesterday we began talking about the tongue, and we understood, or we got to know that having a pink, light pink, like the color light pink, it's good for your tongue. You shouldn't have white or yellow. Then if that's the case, then automatically there is a problem. And yes, that is why today we're going to continue talking about aspects of the tongue, because it's very, very important to know that our tongue actually tells a lot about our health. So we'll begin with the very first one, which says, did you know the tongue map that shows parts of the tongue is responsible for different aspects of taste is the result of a mistranslation from a German paper, and it's not true. It's not actually true. Like the tongue map, like you could say bitter. If something is bitter, don't you taste it? Yeah. Like, should I call it the thumb of your tongue? If something is bitter, like you taste it, right? Like the moment you put something in your mouth and it's bitter, you already have the feeling that it's bitter. Or if it's sour, you already get the taste that it's sour. And yesterday we learned, I don't know if about you, but we got to know that it's the presence of the same cells from the taste buds that makes you to be able to taste which one is which. And we're talking about the fact that, let's say if you had just a single taste, like how can it possibly be? Like you can just taste one thing at a time, just one. So at that point in time, it's very, very difficult for you to just it could have been very, very boring. So if you have a taste of something, it tells you that, okay, like I gave an example yesterday, that if you prepared eru today and you prepare eru tomorrow, trust me, the taste is not going to be the same. Even if you use the same ingredients and put the same ingredients at the same time, there's going to be a slight difference. It's almost impossible to notice, or it's very difficult to notice, but trust me, there will be. And we move over to the next one, and this one, lots and lots and lots of facts. Okay, so these are the few secrets your tongue reveals about your health. That is why I keep on saying you need to pay attention to your tongue. You need to pay attention to the color. You need to pay attention to how it looks. Do you have like splits? You need to pay attention to all of that. Now the fissures are the splits that I'm talking about. We could see a tongue yesterday where it's like sliced meat that needs to be drilled. When you want to drill something, you want to drill chicken, you touch it a little, slice it into, so that the pepper and the maggi and the salt and the white pepper and all that you want to use can marinate into it properly. So you do that. And talking about the fissures, and the fissures simply are indication that the tongue fissures are common symptoms in 6 to 20% of patients with skin disorder. So if you are having let's say the fissures, which I would bring it to say splits, like splits in your tongue, it's an indication that you're having a skin disorder. It could be maybe an infection, it could be maybe rashes, and just anything that has to do with skin disorder, and it shows right there in your tongue. And then we have the abnormal smoothness. Is your tongue supposed to be so smooth? It's rough, right? It's rough. You have the It's like the very tiny dots, the ones which compose the taste buds, and then I think there you have the skin cells. So it's not supposed to be that smooth, so abnormal smoothness. And when there's abnormal smoothness of the tongue is known as atrophic glasses, which means that it could be a sign of an illness that has been there for some time, and probably you're not yet noticed it, and it's just found its way to rest on your tongue. We move over to the next one, the thick yellow coating. Yesterday I mentioned the thick yellow coating, but we're going to find out a little bit more about that. A thick yellow coating on the tongue might just be an indicative of excess bacterial activity. It spoke of bacteria. So by the time, instead of, you're supposed to have white is not bad, because there are foods that we eat that gives us the white patch on the tongue. So if it's white, probably it's because maybe you've not brushed your tongue for some time and you just need to brush, or you need to clean. So now if it's like that, then it's not. But when it's yellow is an alarm clock to tell you that there are excess bacterial activity going on in your system. So you need to go for checkup immediately and begin your treatment. We go to the next one, painful bump. Your tongue hurts. Who has experienced that before? You have something like a boil, or just one part, like it hurts even if you want to eat. So now I think children often suffer from this. So a painful bump that appears on the side of the tongue and goes away in 2 weeks or less is not a cause for alarm. However, it persists longer, then it could be an early sign of oral cancer. Jeez. So don't take it lightly. On no circumstances you take it lightly. And children always suffer from this, because the ones who bite, they suck their tongues. In the process of sucking, they bite. In the process of doing them, maybe somebody wants to talk to them, and then they might bite it. They might pinch with their teeth. For the ones that have teeth, it happens like that. So, or it can also happen when you eat fish that has a lot of bone, the very tiny bone. So by the time you're struggling to remove the bones in your mouth, some might just stick in the very tiny one. So that happens, and you start suffering from painful bump. And if it's for a period of 2 weeks or less and it disappears, then it's not a cause for alarm. But if it persists, then you should go do some checkup. And still talking about the tongue this morning, white creamy layer patches. Talk of white creamy layer. A white cottage cheese like coating on the tongue is one of the most common symptoms of oral candidiasis, yeast infection of the mouth. Did you know there's something like yeast infection of the mouth? Yeah, there is, especially those who brush their teeth 2 times a week, or no, twice in 2 weeks. Yeah. Bright redness. The tongue is not supposed to be red, it's supposed to be pink, and the pink is not supposed to be loud, it's supposed to be light pink. So if yours is not even light pink, it's not even pink, it's red, alarm clock. So bright redness, a bright red tongue could be a symptom of vitamin B12 deficiency. So you're lacking vitamin B12 deficiency. So as I'm talking right now, look at your tongue in the mirror. I know a lot of persons did that yesterday. You can still check it. Just check if your white creamy patch, or your yellow or your red tongue, or you have fissures in your tongue that splits. Check all of that, because one says something about your health. One of them says something about your health. Now, black and hairy. Jeez, this one is I think it's only in animals, but let's get to find out. Black and hairy tongue might be caused by excessive smoking and poor oral hygiene. Yeah, the fab colos, the people that are blowing the fab colos, like you just be thinking of 3 milliards, 2 billions after you have blown like 3 packets of fab colo. You are gradually carrying yourself to cancer. Yeah, cancer. How, where is hair coming from your tongue? The hair is as a result of the smoke that you constantly, yes, you remove the smoke but you inhale. That's why it's called smoking. You inhale the part of it and then you remove part of it. So that one that constantly goes, your tongue has suffered though. That one that constantly goes in there to anybody. That one that constantly goes in there. So you might be suffering from black and hairy tongue. A black and hairy tongue might be caused by excessive smoking and poor oral hygiene. Yes, my people who brush twice in 2 weeks. Some people, if you brush twice in 2 weeks, then you're not just endangering your cavity, but you're equally endangering, most especially your tongue. And there is a lot of connection between your tongue and other, let's say your health, most especially. We move over to the next one, which is sores. Now, sores, like you have the down part of your tongue where you have something like the something very tiny, looks like pimples or something. Now, tongue sores usually result from eating something sharp or from accidentally biting your tongue. It's almost the same thing with painful bum. So eating something very sharp, I was talking of fish, you eating maybe fish that has a lot of bone in it and you have to do away with the bone. So most of the times you're eating something like that, you only realize there's a lot of bone in it after it's already in your mouth. So by the time it's already in your mouth, you have to remove it. You have to remove the bone from your mouth, and in the process, in the course of doing that, maybe one or two of the bones might just stick in your tongue or might pierce your tongue. So tongue sores usually result from eating something sharp or accidentally biting your tongue. However, they may also signify stress. Yeah, if you're stressed, like you've been thinking and thinking and thinking, if you're stressed, and anxiety or hormonal imbalance. Hormonal imbalance, anxiety, stress, or it could be as a result from you eating a sharp something sharp or trying to talk. I gave an example of babies, children who suck their tongue. By the time they're doing that, they would always, some of them, if you meet them and ask them, they'll tell you their tongue hurts because in the process of sucking, I don't know if they feel like it's bonbon. At the end of the day, they might just end up biting it. So that is it for our Did You Know page today. I hope we got to find out lots of interesting things as far as our tongue is concerned. But please, the no-go area, or the no for tongue, it shouldn't be yellow, it shouldn't be red, it shouldn't be thick, white and creamy. It shouldn't be your tongue shouldn't have fissures, and I'm talking about splits, no. And also it shouldn't be smooth, completely smooth. The tongue is supposed to be rough. The moment it's smooth, then there's a problem. So if you forget about every other thing and the painful bum and the sores, don't forget about those ones. So if you find any of these signs and symptoms, then you might want to check with your doctor, and especially if it persists, because some of them are just there temporarily because of one thing or the other. For example, there are things that if you eat, it affects your tongue. For example, if you're not somebody that is supposed to take acid fruits rather, for example like pineapple and some other things. So there are things that if you eat, it affects your tongue. It get it sticky and all of that. So if it's an allergy, you might be suffering from an allergy, let's say from the if you have painful bum or if you have sores, it might be an allergy. But if it persists, then you should be able to ask your doctor some questions. And yes, this time around it is the end of our Did You Know today. Yes, tomorrow we're going to be talking about something extremely different. We call it a wrap for tongue. And talking about tongue, please do well to check your tongue. Yes, go check it in the mirror, find out what's happening there. And yes, right about now we are about taking our topic of discussion, and like you know, it is Spiritual Tuesday here at High Television, the breakfast show. And yes, talking about Spiritual Tuesday, we are going to unveil our topic of discussion immediately after this musical break.
Mama, when untime maeba, when ueba menjela. Mama, when untime maeba, when ueba menjela. Tomura loba wea wandae, mama yena ye buzni bisugo, mama ye, mama. Elle est si jolie, belle femme africaine. Je vous la présente, c'est ma très très chère maman. Elle est mon refuge, cette beauté africaine. Sans elle je me sens faible. Moyo, moyo, moyo. Mine bisaya jamu time, aye mama yeme. Mama, malira longeli matoyara. Magele bemembo, nyambe so dera mama yeme. Mama wenu timema eba, wenu eba menjela. Mama wenu timema eba, wenu eba menjela. Tomura loba wea wandae, mama yena yebuzni bisugo, mama ye, mama megwezwe.
Elle veille sur ma vie. Je remercie mon Dieu d'avoir une telle maman. Elle prie jour et nuit pour que jamais, jamais je ne tombe. Je suis perdu sans elle. Moya, moya, moya.
Mine bisaya jamu time, aye mama yeme. Mama, malira wangeli matoyara. Magele bemembo, nyambe so dera mama ye. Mama wenu timema eba, wenu eba menjela. Mama wenu timema eba, wenu eba menjela. Tomura loba wea wandae, mama yena yebuzni bisugo, mama ye, mama
Dans tes bras, je l'abrite tout. Tu soignes mes blessures quand cette vie m'a roué de coups. Tu es mon robot, ma seule envie de rester mon asile dans ce monde fou. Le ciel t'a fait mère, en plus d'être une reine, tu es ma vie, mon seul souffle. Maman, tu es mon rêve. Tu n'es plus là, mais je t'aime.
Mine bisaya jamu time, aye mama yeme. Mama, malira longeli matoyara. Magele bemembo, nyambe so dera mama yeme. Wenu timema eba, wenu eba menjela. Mama wenu timema eba, wenu eba menjela. Tomura loba wea wandae, mama yena yebuzni bisugo, mama ye, mama yeme.
Welcome back, and yes, as you all know, it is the breakfast show. If you just tune in, that's to tell you that if you miss breakfast or if you're about to miss breakfast this morning, then you should think twice because you can't be watching the breakfast show and not have breakfast. I mean, it is already breakfast, like we're already giving you the breakfast, but this one has to do with intellectual breakfast. So you cannot have intellectual breakfast and your stomach is empty. There's no way the knowledge is going to get into your brain. So you might want to be watching the breakfast show and having a cup of coffee or just relaxing the comfort of wherever you are. And then we are streaming live on our YouTube channel, which means if you're about to step out of the house, turn on that TV of yours and head on straight to your smartphone. There you can watch us live and you can drop a comment. Do well to tell us where you are watching us from. And hey, we are about unveiling our topic of discussion. As you all know, it is Spiritual Tuesday. Talking about Spiritual Tuesday, what are we going to be talking about this morning? What are we going to be talking about this morning? What is going to be our topic of discussion? And somebody is like, why is Rita delaying to unveil the topic of discussion this morning? Well, it's not something of the usual. Today I am asking you the question: if you had to teach one spiritual concept, what would it be? If you had to teach one spiritual concept, what would it be? So there are so many spiritual concepts out there. People have different sayings, people have different ways of thinking, and often at times that's why you find some people even attending different churches. Somebody will tell you, I don't like Pentecostal churches because of these. Another person will tell you, there's no way I can leave the Catholic church because of these. It's not just about church, it could be a way of life, it could be a way of handling things. So what is that spiritual concept? That one, if you had to teach one spiritual concept, what would it be? That is the question. Tell us about that spiritual concept that if you had to teach people, like, this is the way forward, or this is the better way to handle things, or this is the better way to do things, what would it be? What would that spiritual concept be? What will you tell them? What are you going to tell them? Or is it about grace? I think if I had to teach one spiritual concept, if not just teach but tell, then it will be grace, because I have learned over the years that grace works for persons differently. And trust me, there is grace. There is. Some people be like, no, it's lucky, or it's hard work. There are some people who don't work hard in this life. Maybe their fathers decided to set the ball rolling for them or open the way for them, but that doesn't still mean that it's not possible to have what you didn't work hard for. It's possible, right? Yeah. And that's why I said, if there's one spiritual concept that I had to teach, it will be grace. Just, we have to understand that grace works for different persons differently. Some have, and it's not like some don't have, but some don't have like others have. And somebody once said one time, don't envy the grace you don't know. You might be working so hard, sleepless nights, you wake up, you just have somebody there like, this guy, you're not even working, like, grace. It could be grace, it could be backgrounds, but there is grace. There is grace. So if there's one spiritual concept that you had to teach, what would it be? Tell us this morning. The number is right there on your screen. Do well to make good use of it. And yes, we are streaming live on our YouTube channel, so do well to watch. Tell us where you're watching us and drop a comment. Just a hello. You could greet us this morning and I'll be glad to greet you too. So that is our topic of discussion this morning. And yes, we'll be talking something different. But before we move over to talk something different, just so you know, it is Tuesday, and guess what? I'm thinking of eating eru. I thought of preparing eru this today, And Aisha was like, okay, let us head on to the market and see something. And guess what? Aisha is in the market. Let's know what's happening in the market. If I don't, Aisha or Madam Alice is in the market, but I think if I check properly, I see Madam Alice Like in the market. So let's find out what's happening in the market.
Welcome, Elena Gbamu, and today we are at OIC Market. We want to find out, most of the times you prepare food, and there's no way you prepare food without putting fish inside the food. So we are here to find out with one of the traders here at OIC Market, the types of fish he's selling and which one is good for a particular meal. So let's just meet our trader here today. Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How market today?
No, thank God.
We don't say and say get plenty fish and for here where you sell them. So one just find out, make tell me the name for the various fish and where you sell them. Most start with the one where you tie rubber and tell me why you tie rubber this one.
Well, this one is the one we call them stockfish. This fish is from Norway. So the only place where you get them put is Nigeria. So the big force for go buy for Nigeria. So the reason why we packet them small like this, because they come for bill. So with that bill, one man no fit stand why a full bill. So that's the reason why we packet them like this. And a packet of this is 1,000 francs.
Okay.
Now, like for what is good, we use this especially for Aero. A bit good for Aero because it bring out the good flavor and the taste. So this is for the bone. This one at the bone. Now with this one, these are the real flesh. This is the real flesh, the skinny flesh. And now this skinny flesh, it be good for soup. A goosey soup, everything soup, it be good for it. Now the difference between this one and this one are the bone from this one. So this flesh, this is a bone. So that's why this one is a bit cheaper than this one. A pack of this one like this is 5,000 francs.
Wow, as a small so.
As a small so. So this is 5,000. Now, next year we'll have the heads. We have the heads. These heads, you have various types of heads. This is just the small types of the heads.
Okay, the one with this one, not the small one.
Yes, not the small one. So you get heads will be very big. Now this head, most people they like to use that for soup. Why? Because you get ingredients inside. But you don't boil them, it rise.
Yeah.
So we scatter enough your soup. And then now you get a good flavor and the scent. This is for the head. And this is a full stock fish.
Wow.
This is a full stock fish.
So as if fish small, so I get it big.
No. This one, your own heads, they'll be smaller.
Okay.
So your own head, they group them before they die. So it be unfortunately say I don't get the head present now. So why this one? Now your own flesh is.
Okay.
So that's why this head is big.
Yeah.
So this one are the full one for the small one. These full ones, the smallest one, it range from 5,000. So when you buy at the use saw, this is a saw. And they saw this.
Okay.
Where would you use them for cotton?
Wow.
Yes, according to the sizes where you want.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we say with saw for cotton here.
Another size too. This one.
Okay, yes, this small size, the small size of this one. This one is 1,000, while this one is 500.
Okay.
So those are just the differences. But the two, they do work the same work.
Put down for arrow, put down for soup.
Put down for arrow, put down for soup.
Okay. Then why you packet this one? So this one, so if, as it dries, so if some power keep like for 1 year, it will spoil.
Yes, most people when they travel, this is advisable for them. Because why this stockfish, if it be for us even 2 years, the reason I say they need to use fire for dry them. They dry now current.
Okay.
So that's just the difference.
No wonder it needs dark.
Yes,
Color still
it just remain only so.
Wow.
So that's what it is.
Okay. We don't see another one to play. One.
Yes, this is what they call bonga.
Okay.
Yes, I believe this one is something common where most people they know. Ekpang, porridge chop, bitter leaf, banga soup, achu.
Yeah.
Now for achu, I throw small light. Achu, we want enjoy them. You take it so you burn a small for fire. We put that inside achu.
Wow.
May achu get good taste. So this is called bonga. But they get bigger ones more than this one. They just unfortunately say my bigger ones they don't be finished.
This one.
Okay. This one, they call this one munyanya. Yes, most people they like for use and for do like Bakoko Bible because it get taste as it is so. But the problem I say it get bone. So when you don't succeed for move the bone, you will enjoy the fish. Now another way to for use this munyanya, with the use you put red oil for fire, you fry them. I believe say back when they know that style. You fry it in red oil, you chop them with a plantain. You know say this munyanya get taste. Yes, this is still the bonga.
Okay. Then how do you want to this one? How they call this one?
Okay. This one, they call this one munyanya. Yes, most people they like for use and for do like Bakoko Bible because it get taste as it is so. But the problem I say it get bone. So when you don't succeed for move the bone, you will enjoy the fish. Now another way to for use this munyanya, with the use you put red oil for fire. You fry them. I believe say back when they know that style. You fry it in red oil. You chop them with a plantain. You know say this munyanya get taste.
Why one price we put on how much?
Okay, a pie like this one is 500 francs.
Okay.
Yes, this is 500.
All right, this one to know kind of fish.
This one they call this one nyanga fish. Why back when the people they call them musilinga? That's the name they know. They call it nyanga fish. Banga soup. Now a doctor this banga soup. So it gets other menu like vegetable. Why? Because the fish, they scatter and you get this. So now so it is. A heap like this is 2,000. While the bigger ones they sell it for 5,000.
Okay.
Yes.
We don't see another one. The one it belongs to a rabbit how many times?
Yes, this one, Frenchman they call them centu. We centu mean for English a belt. Why we would call them snake fish or doge. This one too, it be very good for arrow because it get taste, and it also be very good too for Bible because when you want succeed for fixie, you no get bone for a flesh, but again a one straight bone. So it is sticky for water. When you don't be like it don't start soft, it is easy for you for fix am. You just drag them like this and you move them. And as it is so it need scatter. So a own name na doge. Frenchman they call them centu, we mean belt.
Okay.
So a heap like this is 2,000 francs. Yes.
Wow. And then the biggest one I don't see on the table today.
Yes. This one they call this one mosobo. Now that mosobo. Now the name where most people they know, the Frenchman knows it, they call an a bar. This is locally called bar. Now this mosobo, the only problem with mosobo na say if you don't know for use it, it is scatter, but it get taste very well. So most people the way they want to travel out, they come for mosobo. Then there's another one I don't have it now, but they call it kuta. I usually have it. So this one they call them mosobo. Even though it hurts. It be big, and you get two type of mosobo. You get this one because there's another mosobo waiting for cold store. You want to get the real mosobo, you can have it in Limbe, you can go to Idina, you can go to Douala. So there you will get a good mosobo like this one. So a heap like this is 5,000. That is 5,000 francs.
All right, another question I want to ask you. Some people they sell fish or get fish or market people they go buy them for the people that they sell cold store, they can't dry them. Then some people they go directly for sea, come go cash and can't dry them. So which one will they buy them for cold store or they buy them for sea?
Good. Now, the only difference between the cold store fish and the fish we never pass through cold store now just the taste. I believe all the fish it come out from the sea, but me in particular I be very sweet limbe fish we never pass through cold store. Now I did deal to with fish we don't pass through cold store on commands because you know if you do business for this big fish we don't get banda. That's the only way you can preserve the fish. So on that note, people don't do it, they can give me command. They say the woman buy them this fish for conjure them, dry them, they can't take them.
See, say you get crayfish. Now na season for crayfish because sometimes the big crayfish is plenty, sometimes the big crayfish is small.
Yes, crayfish matter is unpredictable because some years in the bee we would know the month the way crayfish is cheap. Some year the bee we don't even know the month. Like this year, it don't be like one of the years and we don't even know time where the crayfish go cheap because as of now, the price of crayfish is better than last year. So, but would you just pray, say me the price still remain the same because we the sellers, we too go benefit and the buyers since as money no day, they too they go enjoy. So, but for now, there's crayfish.
Generally, how market day for this OIC? Because I know you don't sell for this OIC. You can anytime man come for the place go see dry fish. How generally the market you work for here?
Well, for OIC, I will first thank God for the market because this is the only market that holds every day. And anytime you are here, you make sure say you will get something. Now there's this notion too for our buyers. They have it in mind. Say OIC in the market will be very expensive. Now I will tell the buyers out there, say the only thing we need to do is if you know what you want and you know the price of it, nobody can cheat you in the market. So that is just the point. OIC no be expensive. Now just say OIC, they deal with things where they be selected. Like for instance, you go to Munya, the way they put things there in Munya is not the same way they put things here in OIC. And here in OIC, you also have people that lives from their farm to come and sell. Now, if you meet people that goes to Munya to buy to come and sell, that's when you know that OIC is expensive. So I believe, like for foodstuffs, the prices cannot have a fixed price. People sell the way they buy. As for me, well, I will not say I'm cheap nor expensive unless you compare me and the other person.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you. So you don't talk to them for high TV. This program where they talk, so they call and say Elela Gbamu.
Okay.
I hope so if you call and say Elela Gbamu.
Elela Gbamu.
Okay, so I just want to make talk and now find say Elela Gbamu for all high television. Elela Gbamu to all high TV viewers. They just away free.
Elela Gbamu for all high TV viewers. Elela Gbamu for high TV television. So I'm very happy and I thank you, the viewers, and for this interview. Thank you.
Welcome back. And yes, if you're thinking of what to prepare today, maybe you want to add to that ndole of yours or that eru, or is it going to be huckleberry? Which one are you thinking of? If you're thinking of what to prepare today, I'm sure Madam Alice just gave you what to prepare this morning and over there at OIC market. So leaving your house to the market this morning, just know you're going to have varieties of different smoked fish to add to that soup of yours, or to add to that vegetable of yours, to make it very, very tasty. And many thanks to Madam Alice Leke. And yes, we are about talking something different this morning, and as you all know, it is Spiritual Tuesday, and on our Spiritual Tuesday we get to talk aspects of spirituality and what is happening in the spiritual sphere of life. And yes, our topic of discussion is still right there on your screen. If you had to teach one spiritual concept, what would that be? If you had to teach one spiritual concept to people out there, if you had to tell them one spiritual aspect, what would it be? That topic is right there on your screen, and hey, there's a number right there, so make use of it. And we are equally streaming live on our YouTube channel, so do well to hit that subscribe button, touch the notification bell, and tell us where you are watching us from. Right about now, we are shifting the gears, and like I told you earlier in the morning, we are going to talk spiritual. But hey, I can't be talking all spiritual, and I have just been joined in the studio by a very young and handsome man who is going to be telling us something this morning concerning one of his books. I should say a spiritual book, not just a spiritual book, but a book that impacts the life of others out there as far as Cameroon and beyond is concerned. I'm talking about Collins Kimbi. Good morning, Collins.
Good morning, thank you.
Welcome to Elela Gbamu.
Honored.
How are you feeling this morning?
I'm fine, I'm good, and you?
I'm great. I'm sure you're coming all the way from Tico.
Not really. I'm coming from Buea.
Buea. Okay, Buea Town. Oh, are you how was Buea Town this morning, leaving Buea Town?
It was good. Like we wanted to rain, but you know the climate in Buea is confusing. We don't know if we're in the rainy season or the dry season.
Okay, so talking about Buea Town, these days I hear that people in Buea Town, the moment it just starts raining, they start packing their things. Is it true?
It used to be a whole phenomenon earlier when this year began, but I think God is helping us thus far. That crisis, I think we are saved from it. Let me just hope so.
Okay, so you have not packed your things already?
No, I've not packed my things. I'm unmovable.
Okay, unshakable. All right. So talking about spiritual aspects, you are a young Cameroonian, not just a promising one, but one who is putting his foot out there and his footsteps to make Cameroon a better place to be. I know of the book. I know of the book that you just released, but before we talk about the book, let's talk a little bit about yourself. Somebody watching right now, who is Collins Kimbi?
Okay, Collins Kimbi is a young man. As you can see, I'm very young. Okay, I hail from the northwest region, but I was born in Buea all my life. All my life I've been in Buea. I schooled in Buea. I had my first degree in Buea. Then I went on to have my master's in Nigeria. Okay. So my first degree was in curriculum studies, so I'm a classroom teacher. Yeah, I'm a classroom teacher. Yeah, so After the university, I went to Nigeria to do further studies on theology, where I obtained my master's in theology, and now I'm pastoring and teaching in the classroom. So that's my dream. I'm merging both classroom teaching and pastoring in the church. That's my dream.
Merging both classroom teaching and pastoring. What an amazing portfolio there, I must say. And talking about your book, which is Building the Future, Maximizing Times. Just getting the title, one could, I'm almost in a rush to quickly just cut this program and start reading the book. Talk to us a little bit. What is the background with this book?
Okay, first of all, I never dreamt that I'll be a writer.
Okay.
It was never in my mind that I'll write books one day. I just had a passion to sell other people's books, advertise the books of others. Before, I think that should be around 2020, where God gave me the burden that I can also write something out there to help destinies, particularly young people. So I wrote the first one, and now the second one. I think it was in 2022. I was preparing to release the first book, which I thought of with Destinies in October. So I think around June or somewhere thereabout, I went to church for our usual Bible studies, and I prepared to teach on building the future. So it was just, I wanted to teach Bible studies.
Just an idea.
Just to teach people.
Amazing.
Not really a book, So after teaching the whole thing, one of our elders came to me and said, "This thing is good. Hope you have it in writing where we could read after tonight." I said, "Really?" I said, "Okay, I'll think about it." So I went to took my laptop and I began jotting down some things, and before you know it, one chapter to another, and there we have Building the Future. So my idea is, I realized that we have a lot of dreamers out there. We have people who dream, who desire. Like if you go the streets, you'll find people in the morning, they wake up, I want to be a great person, I want to ride a car, I want to own this, I want to have a land. All of those are dreams. But now, life will not just give you what you dream for.
True.
Life will give you what you work for.
Correct.
So my burden is, I want to relate to my generation how to make their future work. Not only by having a vision in the night, because we have many people who say themselves are abroad, but they wake up as beggars.
True.
Yes. So you'll not make it in life just by wishing or dreaming. You'll make it in life by aligning to principles and concepts. And I believe that these concepts are presented to us in God's word. Of course, I'm a spiritual man.
I'm beginning to feel the atmosphere of preaching. The thing when they are preaching. I'm beginning to say, I want to say amen. I'm tempted to say amen.
Say amen.
Amen. Glory. That's how they do it, right? Okay, being a young Cameroonian who has been able to not just move from an idea to a whole book that is going to impact the generation out there. Talk to us, how has this journey been like? How has it been received by your close friends or your spurs?
Okay, I feel any project that God initiate, it will obviously come with challenges.
True.
I feel there's no easy ride. It's only ripe mangoes that attract stones. So it has not been an easy ride though. I think at one point I stopped writing. I was writing, then added to my schedule. I got discouraged at one point and I stopped writing. And publishing a book also, we will need resources.
Yeah, resources, money.
We really need resources.
Yeah.
But the good thing about this book is that it was not published by me.
Okay.
It was published by my church, Bethlehem Baptist Church. So my church published the book. So my church financed the whole thing, from printing, editing, proofreading. My church financed it.
Wow.
So what I did was I gave the contents to my church. So my church partnered with me. Yeah, so I began writing. The difficulties I faced will be myself. I was my own difficulty.
Okay.
I believe the greatest battle we face are not outside, they are within.
They are within.
They are within. So I was
pushing ourselves forward.
Yeah, I was lazy. I was lazy at one point in time. But after I was done and all that, the book was well received. We released the book, I think, on Sunday. So it hasn't been long even.
Okay, it's brand new.
Brand new,
fresh. Should I say fresh from your brain? Fresh from your heaven. Experience, fresh from heaven. Like fresh ideas, fresh thoughts, fresh ways to build the future and maximizing the time, especially in our youth. I'm curious, I'm a little bit curious, when we talk of God blessing what you have, let me not put it that way. When we talk of God blessing you, somebody once said God cannot come and meet you in an empty hand and then bless it. He needs to find something. Maybe he needs to find one donut and then move that donut to 3 or 4. So talking about God blessing you and bringing in more to what you have already put out there, I find this book very, very interesting. I think our viewers are going to be seeing it. It's right there on the screen. Maximizing times, building the future, and maximizing times. So, can you tell us a little bit about the book? Not the synopsis, because somebody watching right now will be like, okay, I could actually move this idea of mine to a bigger future. So, tell us a little bit about the book.
Okay. Before I start, let me just say something. Let me comment what you said about God blessing what you have.
Yeah.
I don't know, you haven't gone through this book.
Okay.
But there's a portion of the book which addresses that.
Should I say I should change now to prophetess?
Prophetess journalist.
All right.
Okay, there's a portion of the book, chapter 8. Chapter 8 talks on chapter 7 talks on God's prosperity plan.
Wow.
God's prosperity plan. The idea of God will bless you. You just say amen, and you feel you have received blessings from above. It doesn't work that way.
Sure.
I always tell people I come along with manna fell from heaven in the Old Testament.
Not in the New.
Not in 2023.
Not in 2023.
Yes.
Yeah.
There will be no manna. Now even in Cameroon we don't have snow.
We don't have it. We just have climate change issues. Yeah.
So God blesses, but God does not bless the thought in your head. It blesses the works of your hands. Yes. So I wrote some things down here. We have many people who pray. I pray. I prayed before coming here. I was praying while walking here.
Wow.
We have many people who pray.
Yeah.
We have many people who read scripture. But we should not end at praying and reading. We should also go further to work. God will bless us when we walk. You know, in the Old Testament, the book of Genesis, God cursed the ground. The ground was cursed when Adam and Eve sinned. I believe our listeners, some of them are Christians.
Yeah.
Most of them are Christians.
Yeah, and I think today is really amazing because you're coming on a spiritual Tuesday on the program. So you're just in line with what we're talking about.
So God cursed the ground and God told them, I've cursed the ground, that's your punishment. But God now said that though I've cursed the ground, for you to eat from this soil, you will walk. So God told them to labor. Labor was not a curse. Labor was like mercy. I've cursed the ground, but if you want to eat, you walk. So I'm forgiving you by giving you labor. So labor is something which we should maximize. There are people who don't work like, take for example, some people say pastors are lazy. Pastors are not lazy. The person talking to you, I teach in Moyuka and I come to Buea to pastor. Just my pastoral work is a whole lot of work.
It's a whole lot of work, having to manage Christians, preparing messages and all the like. It's a whole lot of work.
To manage money is easy. To manage people is difficult.
It's difficult.
So we manage people's work. Then added to that, I manage a classroom. So I work. So about building the future is a 10-chapter book.
Okay. 10th chapter book.
10 chapter book.
All right.
And I believe our listeners, you can read this book in 2 sittings or 1 sitting.
2 sittings.
Or one. It's not voluminous, I guess. Just
for us that can read a book for like 3 weeks, just bring it to.
The way I'm seeing you need 1 year.
No. No, with the title now, there is something captivating when you're like writing a book and putting the title alone. Somebody just sees the title and like, okay, this is what the while. Yeah, so already from the title, building the future and maximize. All right, so 10 chapters.
10 chapters, and the chapters are not that long. The idea behind the book, like I started by saying, God has a future for everybody. That is one thing which God has given to everybody. Everybody has a future. Even if you say you don't like God, you hate God, God has given everybody a future. And also, God has given everybody the choice to determine how that future will look like. It's true that He presents the plan, as He says in Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plans I have for you. However, for those plans to be actualized, you have to partner with God.
Yeah.
Yes. So
you have to work with Him.
You have to work with Him. You have the choice to either partner or not.
Yeah.
And this future, I believe that God, the best way for us to build this future is to maximize our times and seasons. To maximize our time.
Yeah.
I began studying and I realized that our time is divided into 3.
Okay.
Morning,
Amazing.
afternoon, evening.
All right.
Yesterday, today, tomorrow.
Okay.
Past, present, future.
Future.
So time is divided into these 3 subdivisions.
All right.
So to make your future work, you must ensure that you maximize these 3 subdivisions. The past is important. The
Okay.
past is important, and sometimes the past can represent a prophecy of your future.
The past can represent a prophecy of your future.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think you throw more light on that,
It
because
can.
our viewers might just be going very spiritual this morning and they might get confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's to put it this way: we cannot undo the past.
Okay.
And that's one of the important things about time.
Very true.
Time cannot be stopped.
Yeah.
Time cannot be controlled. You cannot go back in time. It
You
only
can't.
happened in movies.
Yeah. As we are going, the clock is ticking. It's 8:13. We're not going to come back to 8:13.
We'll not come back to
December 5th, 2023.
We'll not come back
It's
to
fast
December.
already.
So the actions you do in your past can really play in your present and your tomorrow. Can really play on it. Let's give a realistic example. You're a young lady, you commit abortion, you destroy your womb, you get married, you may not have a child again, except of the mercy of God and probably
Except.
science. Probably science. Not everything is possible now with science.
Yeah, not everything.
Logically speaking,
Lot
all things are possible just with God.
true.
Just with God.
True.
So you have an abortion, you damage your womb. You cannot, even if you repent,
You cannot go back and undo
you
the
cannot
action.
undo it, even if you repent. There are also some guys who they commit some terrible actions today and their generations live to suffer. We have families today who are suffering not because of what they did, but because of the things the people came before them did. So
Okay.
your actions will not affect just you, they will affect generations. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful.
Extremely.
Yes, but however, though the past is powerful and paramount, God does not relate with us based on our past. He said in his word in Isaiah 43, he says, do not remember the former things. He said, forget the past.
Forget the past.
And behold, I'm doing a new thing. So in our journey to build our future, the first thing we have to do is, after we've understood that life is divided into times and seasons, the first thing we have to do is we have to forget the past.
Okay.
Whether you were Bill Gates in the past or you were a beggar in the streets in the past, forget that past.
Okay.
So you cannot go to where God wants you to go when you're still holding on.
When you're still holding on to where you are or where you have been
No,
before.
you can't. No car goes forward by moving backward.
True.
No, so you have to advance by forgetting the past. And when you forget the past, you focus on your future. How do you focus on your future? That's what this book is handling. By maximizing in your today. One great writer, Eleanor Roosevelt, she said that today is a gift. That is why it is called present.
Okay. Present, like giving you a present.
I'm giving you a present. So that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Really
She said
beautiful.
today is a gift. That's why it is called present. So how do you really maximize this today?
Yeah.
Whatever you become tomorrow, you're becoming it today. That's one thing many people don't understand. And many people don't understand that today is yesterday was the today you spoke about. Many people don't really understand. Some people just, when they wake up and they're just living life.
Yeah, just I woke up. I was telling our viewers the other day that back in the days, like I think 80s, the before the coming of electronics and all of that, there used to be knockers. People who go they use a stick to hit on people's door for them to wake up. And let's say this person is not there to wake you up, and let's say your alarm clock, now that we have alarms, is not there. How do you think you wake up in the morning? Like, how possible is that? So you don't just wake up and your bed, pam, you're going everywhere like chop, like you don't life. Even you just live life.
And you're very busy.
Yeah, very busy.
We don't even know what you're busy about. No, you have to maximize your today.
True.
So I placed in this book, by the help of God, principles that you should engage in maximizing your today.
Amazing.
I placed here. So there are the remaining 9 chapters or 8 chapters. They are really hitting out on what you have to do in your today. Like I said, there are times and there are seasons. You will not always have abundance.
Yeah.
You will not always be broke.
Yeah.
Now, what should you do when you are broke? What should you do when you have money?
When you have abundance.
Yes, I believe that there are persons who, despite the economic situation in a nation or a community, they live like they are comfortable. You know, in 2020, where we had coronavirus, COVID, and there was economic crisis, economic breakdown, there were some guys who were building houses.
People People have built houses, they've opened empires from the crisis.
So how do you relate that? How do you relate that? How do you relate that? How do you relate the fact that there are some guys doing so well than you, but your age mate, your classmate, your schoolmate? How do you relate that? Is it that God made some people poor and some people rich?
Nope. Maximizing times and seasons,
It's
definitely. It's right there. And you have it there, maximizing times and season. I was telling the viewers this morning, some have grace, others work hard, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to work. So some have grace, others don't have. Others have the grace, but it's not compared to that of others. So if you discover that probably you don't have the grace, you know, there is grace and there is grace. There is grace which is let me say to a higher level, and there's grace which you're struggling to manage. So if you're struggling to manage the grace of yours, why not put in the hard work? Someone watching us right now, it's so eager to find out how to get building the future and maximizing times and profit, the book. Someone is so eager to find out how to get this book. So how can one get this book ASAP?
Okay, so the book, like I said, the book was just released on Sunday. The book is we plan to make the book everywhere.
Okay.
The book was just released on Sunday. So right now, if you are around Buea, you can get the book in Bethlehem Baptist Church. It's where I pastor. It's where I church is. The church was responsible in publishing the book, and you should not only come to get a copy, you can come fellowship with us.
Oh, this is the thing with pastors. They never fail to call you over. You see.
You can come fellowship with us.
All right. I'm looking at you. I'm asking myself how you are able to manage the pastor and the teaching. Does it clash at one moment? Just tell us a little bit about that.
It's not easy. However, it boils down to managing your time.
True.
It boils down to managing your time. I feel God is multifaceted. We can do a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
Yes.
So long as we put our mind to it.
Yes. I am not limited to my title.
Okay.
I can do a whole lot of things. Yes. But I feel in me there are a lot of things which has to be released.
Yeah.
So how do I do it? I am in church when I have to be in church.
Okay.
And I am in school when I have to be in school.
Okay.
Yes.
All
I don't know how well I have to say this.
All
I
right.
sleep when I have to sleep.
All right.
I rest when I have to rest. I pray when I have to pray. I study when I have to study. I am not in church 24/7.
Okay. You don't attend all the weekly services?
No, I attend all the weekly services.
You attend all? How did you bring me back like that?
I attend all the weekly services.
All right.
That's to show you that I am committed to,
really?
to whatever
Committed.
I do. God,
Okay.
God will give you just what He knows you can handle. He gives gifts according to your ability.
True.
So if He has given me these two platforms, He has given me the grace, like you were saying, to handle them.
Yeah.
So I manage them.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. It has been an amazing time. I'm sure our viewers are really thrilled this morning to find out that they can actually maximize their times and seasons. And talking about building the future, you can get the book Bethlehem Baptist
I know
Church.
that you have my contact.
Okay, Bethlehem Baptist Church is what of an online platform? Is there any?
Right now, let me just open contacts. Maybe.
Okay, all right.
If you are in Limbe or wherever Douala, you can just contact 676 01 1363 676 01 1363, or you can contact 677 06 7616.
Okay, please can you take that all over?
Okay, you can contact 677 06 7616 or 676 01 1363.
Okay, so there you got the numbers, and yes, you can do well to visit Bethlehem Baptist Church.
It's found in Support after Street 7.
After Street 7, just beside the road, if
Just
I'm not
beside the
mistaken.
road. You can easily locate it.
So it's very easy to locate it and find means for you to maximize your times and your future, your times and season. So before I take leave of you, I cannot have a pastor, a man of God in the house. Our topic of discussion just goes in line with you today. So if there's one spiritual concept that you had to teach people out there, what would it be? One spiritual concept.
Building the future, maximizing times and seasons.
I knew you were going to say that.
If there's one spiritual concept, it will be this concept.
Okay, that's the concept. And the good thing is the concept is not about it's not really spiritual in the name.
Okay.
Spiritual people are very spiritual. When you meet pastors, some of them though, when you meet them, you just start feeling holy, glory,
Speaking in tongues.
like. But if you get the title there, it's I did not even know you were a pastor if you didn't tell me, reading, judging from the title of the book, because I see it as an avenue for developing yourself and making life much more better. Thank you so much for coming.
I'm honored. I'm grateful.
It has been an amazing time in your company. I'm sure our viewers, do you have an online, maybe somebody does not want to just purchase the book, maybe wants to get to you online?
Okay.
Your handles.
I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
For now, Collins Kimbi.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook, so you can get to me on Facebook, Collins Kimbi, and I'm sure as I am increasing, I'll be everywhere. Okay,
definitely you will be everywhere. Okay, so this is where we take leave of you. It's been a nice time in your company. Thanks for coming on Gbamu.
Pleasure so much.
And yes, there you got it. Building the future and maximizing times and season. That idea of yours, it could be an empire, it could be a future that is going to bring you lots and lots of amazing opportunities out there, but you haven't had the opportunity to maximize it or to be able to move it from one step to the other. And yeah, you have gotten the opportunity, so why not move to the Bethlehem Baptist Church and get yourself a copy, or contact the number and get yourself a copy. Right about now, we are going to talk something different after this musical break.
Thank you very much.
You don't buy motor. Course. You don't buy motor.
This is another DJ.
Give me the mic, yo. Yeah. Hey. Mon ami, dans la vie, les choses sont très compliquées. Je vais vous raconter une histoire de Paolo. Paolo a gagné sa vie, il donne pas moto. Et tous les jours dans les boîtes, et il n'écoute pas les conseils de sa maman. Paolo changeait les petits amis comme les cabangondo. Et son entourage était là, et just a follow, Paolo aimait de la ville, mais il a aussi oublié que le soleil ne brillera pas pour toujours. Il a quitté sa responsabilité. Toute la famille l'a supplié, mais il était occupé à s'amuser. But now with the pepper don't red, I just talk am the way it is. L'argent don't finish for banco. L'argent don't finish for banco. L'argent don't bole for handy. L'argent don't bole for handy. Et quand l'argent est là, tes amis sont là. L'argent est là, les amis sont là. See when money no dey, your friend go.
Sois généreux n'importe comment, mais que l'argent ne finisse pas haut. Sois généreux comme Samuel et Joe, mais que l'argent ne finisse pas haut. Si tu veux, deviens même Papa Noël, mais n'oublie pas les cadeaux des enfants. Si tu veux, deviens même Papa Noël, mais n'oublie pas les cadeaux des enfants. Sinon les enfants vont te fuir, comme les femmes et les amis. Papa Noël est venu, il a oublié les cadeaux.
Mais il a aussi oublié.
Il est venu, il a oublié les cadeaux des enfants.
Il a quitté sa responsabilité. Toute la famille l'a supplié, mais il était occupé à s'amuser. But now with the pepper don't red, I just talk am the way it is. L'argent don't finish for banco. L'argent don't finish for banco. L'argent don't bole for handy. L'argent don't bole for handy. Et quand l'argent est là, tes amis sont là. L'argent est là, les amis sont là. See when money no dey, your friend go.
Tonton Kossi.
Yes, Papa Longue. Talk make I hear.
Now who be a friend? Your friend that man when you go get champagne with you. That will get problem, you know the see. Now who be a friend? Now who be a friend? Now who?
Yeah, EJ Kaka KJ, EJ Kaka KJ, DJ Kaka KJ. They don't go stand Wayo, Kaka, Wayo, Kaka, Wayo, Kaka, Wayo. If you don't feel me, I sing a meka. L'argent don't finish for Banco. L'argent don't finish for Haro. L'argent don't bole for Hane. L'argent don't bole for Hane. Et quand l'argent est là, tes amis sont là. Les amis sont là. See when money no dey, your friend go go. When money no dey, when money no dey, when money no dey, yeah. If you don't feel me, sing a lot of do. When money no dey, your friend go go.
K Mr. K Mix.
DJ Chris, you feel me now?
Welcome back, and yes, just feeling amazing this morning because I have the opportunity to get to find out lots of interesting facts as far as maximizing times and season is concerned. But away from talking about maximizing times and season and building the future, let's talk information on the program. And as you all know, we can't go on just having fun and you know talking about other things without talking about information. And we have Larry Etengeneng in the building. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning to you, Rita Mafani Mujoko. Good morning to everybody. It's a beautiful morning.
It's a beautiful and a sunny Tuesday morning. So what are the newspapers saying?
Newspapers are talking on congratulating the Minister of Basic Education, Professor Laurent Seshetundingwa, who says henceforth unseen music will be banned in the school milieu. Where you go to school, like school graduation ceremony, you see children are whining their little waist, whether it's twerking or what they call it. So those kind of music are banned henceforth. So that is any school that will be caught doing such, that school will be banned. We have a couple of them here in Buea. I don't want to cite their names, but they know themselves. So from that outing of the minister at the National Assembly, who says this unfriendly tune of music, you know them, Kolela Petit, Dumia.
You find during graduation ceremonies or Christmas parties, you find kids dancing terrible things.
Yes, so the minister in charge of that says it's banned. So we equally have this story too. We equally have this other story too from the papers that talks on the minister of the Prime Minister, beg your pardon, the Prime Minister John Guti, who says how he saw red hot in the hands of opposition parties, MPs over there in Yaoundé. And going back to the 40% of porous road network across the country that are in their bad shape, those are some of the things we'll be talking on when the time comes.
All right, so let our viewers get a hold of it.
Hello there, viewers of High Television. You're welcome to the Tuesday's edition of the program, Gbamu, and this is a paper review slot with me, Etengeneng Larry Kevin Support. We start right on with the Sun newspaper from Nimbe. The paper of Nobel Waso for this morning have as its story 2024 finance bill, government fires brigade approach causes rumbles in National Assembly. You can find that story on page 10 on the Sun newspaper for today. SDF strategizing to win upcoming elections, says Joshua Osi. Bamenda City Mayor Pastor Paul Achombong transformation plan stands to see to the of the Bamenda transformation phase. We take you to the remaining Bamenda this time around. Nigerian diplomats, Northwest Governor discuss security initiatives in the Northwest region for Nigerians living in that part of the country. Banana Plantain Festival that just ended in the Southwest region. Agriculture Minister Gabriel Bairobi appeases Bangem farmers. You can find that story on page 4. And we remain in Kupe Maningoba's vision. Cameroon's Dr. Ekwonge Abwe received Talks 2023 Prince William Awards. You can find that awards there that was given to him personally by the British Crown Prince William. Moving away now to the next publication on our newsstands is La Voix du Jeune. La Voix du Jeune talks on basic education, war against obscene music in the school milieu. That was the Minister of Basic Education, Professor Laurent Seshetundingwa, who was in front of the National Parliament saying that this thing of music that are not pleasant for children will be banned. We take you now to Tepromi Hedo. It talks of the transition. It talks of the Gabonese junta president Olingin Gema in Yaoundé. You can find that said story on page 3. It says, despite all, get to read that story on that said paper. Yaoundé Horizon 2024. The paper talks of a beautiful capital city. Here has portrait by the minister of Housing and Urban Development. We move over to this other story that talks of the project of the budget of the state budget. It says still strong and resilient. You get to read that story on that side paper for this morning. Mutation of Thierry Diaga. It says a candidature of Frank Emmanuel Olivier Pia. It talks of citing the spirit. You get to read the outing of this political member from the CPTM political party there. Constant power outages. It says how to understand how a new works her gimmicks. You can find that story on page 7. State budget. The paper talks of the budget for 2024 for the Ministry of State Properties and Land Tenure headed by Andre Eyibi IC. The Nation newspaper for this morning talks of government orders prop after airstrike kills civilians. You can find that story from Nigeria on the Nation newspaper. Former Central Bank Governor of Nigeria's Godwin Emefiele seeks variation of bill's condition. Oil sector hit by influx of foreign welders. And we take you to this other story. Nigerian delegation to COP28 is 422, says the minister Idris, who gives the list on that. We remain in Nigeria this time around with a copy of the Punch. The Punch talks of outrage as warplane kills 85 in Kaduna village bombing. What a sad story. There you can read on the Nation on page 2. We will remain with the Punch. I beg your pardon, not the Nation. The Punch. The Punch reports on cash shortage hits banks. Customers rush for PVN and NIN. You get to read that story. I said paper. 366 Boko Haram terrorists convicted for financial jail, and this time this from the president of Nigeria funding 422 delegates to COP28 meeting in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. The paper titles that as wasteful or spending, says opposition members. Get to read that story. And I said paper for this morning. We come back to Cameroon with La Voix du Jeune that talks of the West region that lives in fuel shortage, or you can find a story on Luju of Haman Manam for today. And in that said Luju, the paper talks of the World Cup for women for the handball. It says the Indomitable Lion qualifies for the second round of that tournament. And Ballon d'Or for Cameroon Ballon d'Or 2023, the paper talks of the best 16 in the best players that will be mounting the rostrum as from the 16th of December for this year. Away from Haman Mana's paper of Luju, we take you to Limbe with the advocate of Tabetayang. The paper says fighting hate speech, Central African journalists want state commitment. In that said paper of the advocates, Nigerian diplomats, Northwest governor discuss peace security action. Wrap up with this one from the said paper that talks of Manufime CSO leaders whip for Egbeko, Shada partners donate to victims in Mamfi. We move over now to this sports paper. Punch Sports Extra for this day says MVPs, that's the most valued players. You can find more on the sports paper for this morning. United plan to sign 26 million British pounds for Sancho van der Sar. Falcons of Nigeria are the verge of WAFCON qualification, and in this one that's a Chelsea suffers Osimhen transfer blow. Get to read that sports story on those sports stories on that sports paper for this morning. We move over to the Guardian Post. The Guardian Post of Christian Gaffer says at close of cultural festival in Yaoundé, Minister Bar Acha Rose Achamufor says we reinstate Momo stand for United Indivisible Cameroon. And this one that talks of Bankers Awards 2023, United Bank for Africa UBA crowned Africa's Bank of the Year. You can find that story on page 12. And school Christmas parties. It says Minister warns against use of obscene music in the school milieu. That is what the Minister of Basic Education says. Innovation newspaper says Mamat Zamne talks of the obstacles of development in the far north region. And in that said paper, the paper is focusing on this one from Cameroon bilateral relationship with the People's Republic of China when it comes to the economy of the country. Republic Works, the paper reports on 508 billion CFA francs that have been used for road construction in the year 2023. We'll move over to Le Chapeau of Carol Tamba for this morning. Le Chapeau for today talks of Africa Coast Week region. The East region received the edition 2023 edition, and the cultural festival of the Sawa people in the Victoria region. It talks of the end of festivity of the Ngondo festival for 2023. We'll move over now to the next paper that is active out there for this morning. It says the Roman Catholic Church, Monseigneur Jean Braga in Olingina. You can find that story on that said paper for this morning. The movement, the paper reports on 30 million francs to be won across the National Triangle. You can find that story on page 5. The Voice of Randy Joseph for this morning talks of milestone achievement in turbulent media landscape as the paper celebrates 500 edition of her publication. And that's it. The voice talks of Bamenda, Nigerian Consul General, present new Union Executive Bureau to the Northwest Governor, and release of Zogo murder suspect capsizes. Get to read that story on the purported release of Jean-Pierre Mogo Belinga and Maxime Eko that didn't see the light of day. Women of our time, it says, meet Karen Oyundasa. It says, peace activist, community worker, women rights crusader. You can find these stories and more on the pages of the Voice newspaper for this morning. From the Voice, we take you now to Eden of late Zanganumbo. Eden from Limbe says, ruling from hideout. Villagers warn funds chiefs return to palaces, urge government to beef up security. That is what you can find on the publication from Limbe for this morning. Mining sector, it says Cameroon's transition from potential to production nation. That is what Fukalitus Gentry, the interim minister of mines and technology. We'll move over to this other story on the set paper that talks of Golden Award 2023 Landmark Metropolitan University awarded as the most innovative university in the country. We take you now to the next paper and for our show for this morning talks of his Honorable Jean-Michel Nyuncho. He says the time for the SDF to assume conclusion and for her instances of affiliation to CPTM is now. You can find that out of the MP for STF political party from the Vuri division, Honorable Jean-Michel Nyuncho. We'll move over to this other story that talks on the talks of government when it comes to the end of certain malpractices in councils. Get with that story. And I said, people, for this morning we cross over to Generation Libre for this morning that talks of the reform of the emergency. We are talking on the road sector in the country, transport sector in the country. As a Minister of Transport, Jean Masenankale Bibi, he talks more on Generation Libre for this day. We move over to the realization of some 790 kilometers of roads that have been realized. That will be realized from December 2023. Let's take a bow out of the studio with the last publication on our newsstands. The Median says harassed by opposition MPs. John Guti sees reds in Parliament. You can find that story on the Median of Stephen Ojong newspaper for this day. You and the Law, coalition of the willing, headed by barrister John Kamenu Sucho, advocate for better rights for foreigners living in Cameroon. Oil and gas sector in the country, US-based RSM production banned on crippling Cameroon company. We wrap up with this one on the humanitarian action. Barrister Nkomo Agbo Felix takes support to Egbeko massacre victims in Mamfe. Get to read that story on that set publication for today. With the media, this is what put a stop on this segment of the paper of the program paper review. Back to you, Rita Mapani Mujoko, with the rest of the program.
Thank you so much for bringing us the updates on what's happening as far as the newspapers are concerned.
Okay.
So talking about the aspect of banning those songs, I think I will really go in for that, Larry.
And you see the manner in which
disheartening.
You see the manner in which these children they dance in a seductive way. You see a child of 5 or 10 dancing in a seductive way as if he or she is in front of the lover. Both of them are naked.
And the thing is, the parents are clapping and happy.
The parents and the teachers, they are even the so-called head teachers.
It's not proper.
I don't know the kind of upbringing they are giving these children. But I thank God for the timely intervention of the Minister of Basic Education, Professor Laurent Etundingwa, who says enough is enough. No more. No more.
True.
C'est trop, c'est trop.
No, c'est trop, c'est trop. C'est trop, c'est trop. I mean, you see children dancing the way they move their... I ask myself, when did they learn this thing? Like, when did they learn? And the thing is, they are not even up to a certain age. The very small ones, you see a child, and then the child is twerking, doing all of those things, and the parents are clapping. Tomorrow, when the child reaches 15 and the child is doing the thing in the other way that you will not see, you don't even you're not going to be there to be able being promiscuous and all the like. But I think that one will go a long way to curb certain malpractices or certain of such behavior in schools. Definitely. I really buy with that. I must say the minister is really I think this has been brought to her notice, and she thought it wise to say no. I mean, his notice, this thing has been brought to his notice, and he thought it wise to say no, it's not going to continue, not under my watchful eyes.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Larry. And a very quick one, talking about, we are on Spiritual Tuesday. A quick one. If you had to teach one spiritual concept, what would it be?
Holiness.
Holiness
unto the
holy.
It's you love. We are talking on spiritual thing. We are bringing things. That is why
holy is welly song.
It's a welly song. That's how
riches and glory is that not the
song that you
no, that's the one that
lies. I know you. That is you are singing. I don't know whether it's Naira Marley or you are.
It was not in my mind though. So Larry, you not tell me the song I'm singing.
I know you more than you know yourself. So you cannot fool me.
Okay, so why holiness?
Holiness, because holiness is key. Without holiness, no one can see God, according to the Bible. So that is just it. Holiness unto the Lord in all spheres and all ramifications of life.
Holiness unto the Lord in all spheres and all ramifications in life. That's what Larry will teach. I hope I'm still waiting for yours. What are you going to teach? But anyways, there's a lot more to talk.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'm still waiting for my viewers. They have not told me what they are going to teach. As for me, I said I will teach grace.
Abi?
Yeah, grace. Because over the years I've learned that grace differ persons to persons.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Glory.
Rita Mafani Mojoko, the pastor.
The prophetess.
The mommy Gio.
Alright.
What happened to your hair scarf? You didn't put it on today.
Nah. I think I'll bring it next week, so that when I'm talking the holy like that, our viewers are seeing something that is
the glory of God.
The glory of God upon me. Thank you so much for coming, Larry. And yes, we are about talking some. On the breakfast show, it's from one interesting moment to another, from one important information to another. We take on this musical break and we talk something else.
Venus vanter nos futurs. Du nord au sud, de l'est à l'ouest, à Cameroun uni. Réunification, cela impose harmonie. Quant à la sauce sacrée, cela vient tout droit d'Afrique. Passe à pas le major, le rêve de vos souvenirs. Major couleur, Allégi, tout le pendant. Le pendant major. Sous ma grille de griffes,
Diallo le monument. Mais bon, mes manipés, tout le monde les représenter. Attachez vos ceintures parce que ça vient de commencer. Avion de tel, S, on déco tous comme des fusées. Mon aquata molé, quoi t'en vient vous confirmer. Avec faut disposer, ma plainte est rédigée. C'est ici que je la dépose pour pouvoir m'imposer. Les mêmes potes à taper, le djembé est lancé. Pas de potes à chanter, le volet va commencer. Major couleur, couleur, allez-y, 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 tout le monde répondant. Répondant Major, Major couleur, 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 allez-y, 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 tout le monde répondant.
And yes, it is from one interesting moment to another. We don't just laugh, have fun on the morning show, but we equally get to dish lots of information to you and to the right information. You know, there's information and there is the right information. Right about now, we are shifting the lights and the cameras towards talking something different this morning. And as you all know, it is time for us to talk sports with Sunita Nguni. Good morning, Sunita.
Good morning, Rita Mafani, and good morning to all the televiewers of High Television.
You remind me of the song Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow. Can we just like this?
Yeah, baby girl.
So how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. We thank God. You know, December is a month when you just have to be happy because it's celebration.
Yeah.
So, and mind you, it's my birth month.
So people are the ones that wait till the end of the year.
Definitely. We are part of Jesus' celebration. So, and that's why we are always made unique.
Yeah, unique. After you have waited for 11 months.
I don't care about that. As far as I'm in the same month with the most important person in this world,
yeah,
I don't have a problem with that. I don't know about others how they feel, but we are proud.
So I know these days now you just get up and you feel like,
definitely.
When it's your birth month. Anyways, away from your birth month, what are we talking about? Sports.
I know you're jealous, but it's okay. We are going to be talking about a lot of interesting things. And mind you that the MTN Little Championship was on a break, and they will be starting today in terms of the various stadiums and the various teams too. They have been preparing for a week, and it's time for new stories to be created, for new players to be brought up to the limelight, and many other interesting things. We are going to be looking at what's happening in terms of the Guinness Eco and Match Day 7, and equally what is the decision of the homologation committee for Fecafood after the first phase of both the MTN Elite 1 and 2 championship. I'm sure many people have been waiting for these particular decisions from the Fecafood Bureau, and we are waiting for Rita Masfani's dad for me to, why not, have a ride.
Our viewers want to have good information, and sports, it is your turn.
Thank you very much, Rita Mafani Mojoko, and once more, good morning and Merry Christmas to all the fervent viewers of High Television in advance. And yes, in terms of the sports corner on the Gbamu show, we are going to begin with the Guinness Eco, and we are going to be looking at the woman of the match in terms of Match Day 7 of the Guinness Eco. Mind you that this particular prize always has a cash prize of 50,000 francs, and this is one of the motivations that the Guinness Eco has in store for the female football, where in terms of the Match Day 7 Women of the Match Award, it's actually Antoniette Shea from the Northwest region who plays for Itambang. She is the one that actually grabbed the 50,000 for Match Day 7 of the Women Man of the Match in terms of the Guinness Eco over there in the Littoral region. And yes, we are going to be looking at the result in terms of Match Day 7 of the Guinness Super League Season 4. We look at RS Sawa that picked up a 1-0 defeat against Injasport. Meanwhile, FC Borowa beat up Itamban 3-1. Authentic picked up a 1-0 victory against Eden Fields, while the Key Fields beat up Kaya time, Memphis 2 goals to 0. A clear officer defeated Leo Swimming Probe 1 goal to 0, while Amazon Fact picked up a 0-0 tie against RS Fortuna. So far, for those who are following the Guinness Season 4, these are the results in terms of match day 7 of the Guinness Sequel. And yes, away from the Guinness Sequel, we would go straight away to look at what has transpired after the homologation committee in terms of disciplinary committee for the Faker Foods after the first phase of the MTN Elite 1 Championship. And yes, we look at some decisions that have been taken after this particular committee sat down some few days back, where the game between Aposhas of Infu and Victoria United that did not play, that was match day 5 or so in terms of this particular championship, where Victoria United was absent while Aposhas of Infu was present. The homologation committee has decided that that particular game would be replayed. And imagine that when you look at the standings in terms of Group B of the MTN Elite 1 Championship, the side has played 7 games and it's lacking 1, and it was this particular game, and this is the decision that has been taken in terms of this particular Southwest side, and that game will be replayed to have a balance on the table. And alongside looking at Fantastic and Buffalo United in terms of the MTN Elite 2 Championship, the Fantastic has been rewarded 3 points, and as well as but now the 3 points have been deducted from Buffalo United, because I think that was match day 1 in terms of the MTN Elite 2 Championship, where the side was present, but now just 5 players had licenses, and you find, and according to what the team is saying, they were one of the very first things to actually send out applications in terms of license issues, but they didn't have this license. And you find a lot of questions asking or surrounding this particular decision taken by the homologation committee that sat some days back. Anyway, that is it in terms of the first phase and decisions that have been made. And now this is the second phase that is going to start, where new decisions, where new history, where new things are going to be coming up for the second phase that commences tomorrow, Wednesday. And mind you that this decision, especially on the side of Buffalo United, it is going to take them to the 5th position or the 6th position, because currently they stand as the 3rd position in terms of Pool A of the MTN Elite 2 Championship. And away from that, we'll go straight away to look at some Elite 2 fixtures today after a 1-week break, and it is Tuesday. And mind you that it is going to be a very interesting week for the MTN Elite 2 Championship, as Tuesday, it is going to be a back-to-back interesting games for teams, especially for the Southwest side that has been on a break in terms of the MTN Elite 2 Championship. We'll go straight away to look at the Olympia next stadium in terms of Pool A. At exactly 3 o'clock, we are going to be having Renaissance of Gbamu that is going to welcome Tonnerre Calabar Club, and at the Buffalo sister club, Buffman United. This is a game where you're going to be finding a split camp here. The Northwest teams are going to support us, are going to be saying that, okay, it is Buffalo United I am coming to support, and it is Fantastic. And after the game, we are from the Northwest region, and that is a beautiful, should I say, environment and atmosphere in terms of football. And at the Japoma Annex 1 Stadium, it is going to be Aigle du Mongo that is going to welcome Yafoot at exactly 1:30. While Pool B is going to see Leopard Sportif of Douala play against Njuku FC of Banjul at 1:30. The teams at the Bangateng Stadium at exactly 3 o'clock. It is going to be Panther Sportif of Inde that is going to welcome ISL of Hope Sports Academy. We want to say good luck and success to the Southwest representative in terms of the MTN Elite 2 Championship, and currently they are at the 5th position in terms of the standings after having 2 defeats, 2 draws and a couple of wins. And at the Omispor Next One Stadium in Yaoundé, it is going to be Dragon of Yaoundé against Rangers of Bafut at 1:30. And mind you that before the break, Rangers of Bafut is one of the teams that have considered a lot in terms of the MTN Elite 2 Championship and is bottom in Pool B of this particular season in terms of the MTN Elite 2 Championship. And at exactly 3:30, it's going to be RS FAP of Yaoundé that is going to play against Edin Sport of the Leki. So far, these are the the fixtures of the MTN Elite 2 Championship in terms of Pool A and Pool B. After the break, that is how this particular week is going to run. Like, where will you be watching this particular games from? Is it going to be at the Bafang Stadium? Is it going to be at Bangate? Is it going to be at the next one stadium? Is it going to be at the Chapoma Stadium? Pick your point and go and enjoy beautiful football made in the MTN Elite 2 Championship. And it's with these particular fixtures for the MTN Elite 2 Championship that I get to wrap up and today's sport on the Elena Gbamu Show. Do not forget we have more interesting games in terms of the MTN Elite 1 Championship that are coming up tomorrow.
More interesting games, and yes, I'm sure the viewers are hoping to not just know about this game subsequently, but to find out who made the victory.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing us the updates. And yes, this time around, I think my studio clock is telling me it's time for us to wrap up. But hey, before we take leave of you, a quick one, Sunita.
Okay.
So if you had to teach one spiritual concept, what would that be? Like, you had to encourage somebody or encourage a group of people spiritually, just that one concept that you had to teach, what would it be?
The love of God.
The love of God.
I think that's one spiritual aspect that I would preach out if I had the opportunity, because we find a lot of people who doubt the love of God, and